At this point, we'll go ahead and we'll set up our Dreamweaver. And the way that we do that is we go to our file, FTP accounts, and we had created a user named student web230 inside out, your domain name. I copy the whole name, everything, because we can use all of that information to define the site in Dreamweaver. So now we'll go to Dreamweaver, and in Dreamweaver we'll go to Site, and you can go to Manage Sites, or we can just go to New Site. And I normally I'll start with the server, and you'll see why. I'm going to click Add Server, and down here in the FTP name, I'm going to copy that whole thing, the whole FTP name that I copied, and then I'm going to actually just copy in front of the underscore, because I'll use that for the rest of my information. I'll take that, what I copied, and I'll put it into the FTP address, because that is the FTP address. And while we're here, why don't we put rack pass into our password, and let's test it. And we're successfully connected. So now that we have our server defined, let's go ahead and name it so we know what server it is. As we add servers, it becomes more and more complicated knowing what server you're working on. So I just pasted that whole thing in there again. And now I'm actually going to go and I'm going to create my local directory. And so I'm going to actually just copy up the subdomain name without the domain name. And I'm going to save my server. Now I know that's good. So I'm going to click on Site, and I'm going to name my site 230 Inside Out. And I'm going to browse out for my folder. The way that I do this normally is I already have it set up, but I'll go out to PC. And you don't have to go all the way out to PC, actually. If you go out to PC, you can go to your C drive. If you're using WAMP, it'll be right there in the root. I'm using 64, so I'm going to double click on 64. And then I'm going to go right into the www folder. And in the www folder, so I'll go into the www folder, and I'm going to say New Folder, and I'm going to name it exactly what I copied. Double click on it and go inside it to make sure that I'm selecting the right folder, and I'm going to click Select Folder. It brings us to, and we see our local folder has nothing in it. We'll go ahead and we'll connect to our remote folder, and that has the index.xhtml file in it. We'll go ahead and we'll get rid of that. We don't need people looking at that. Local. And what we'll do is we'll put a new file in here, and we'll call it index.php. And for now, just to make sure all is well, we'll go ahead and we'll click on it. And because PHP will process the HTML, let's go ahead and just put some PHP in here real quick so we can actually test it. Echo. Close that off with a semicolon and close off our PHP. We'll go ahead and clean up our code so that we can indent, and we will click Save, and we will push that up to our site. Now we should be able to do two things. We should be able to go out, first of all, and look at our site. Web 230 dash inside dash out dot inside dash out dash project.com. That's my site with my domain. You should be able to go to web dash 230 dash inside out. See if I got that right. Index of. Let's go make sure. Let's go see if we pushed it up. Okay, we did a put. And we see my inside out PHP site, so we know we're good there. The other thing we want to do is we want to go out and make sure if we're checking on WAMP, what we want to put in here is localhost / inside out 230, and that's on our local site. So we know that our PHP is running on our local site. I know this. I can see that my server is running right here, and my files are in there. And that is good. So we are set up to run.